Hello friends, just wanted to share a video with you of my routine, which I do almost daily, 3-4 times a week at least, and that helps me keep my back pain free and my body overall toned and fit, and just being healthy. It helps you with the with the movements, flexibility, muscle tone, all of those good things. All right, hope you find it useful and helpful. Enjoy. I start my exercises from the top, working on the neck, making the forward and backwards movements, and then gradually switching them to side, and then from side to side we lower the head from left to right as well. And then to complete this neck warm-up, I do rotations to the left and to the right sides. Next area is our shoulders. We do rotations backwards and forwards, and then we also do the swings with the arms in the up and down direction, and then I switch it to the side to side direction, and you can variate it. You can do it with the bent or with the straight arms, as you can see. I'm doing both. And we continue the warm-up of the shoulders and to keep the mobility and flexibility of the shoulder area with this exercise at the back, arms interlaced, interlocked at the back. And you might not meet your hands that way, but you can also do self-hugging movement and this stretching movement as well. And we switch for our wrists, working them, making them flexible as well, and switching to stretching exercises for our sides. Each time you bend left or right, as you can see, my hand is up at the side where I'm leaning towards and down in the opposite side. It kind of helps you extend your stretch even more. I like to combine workout routine for different muscle groups, and in this exercise you can see I'm working on my arms and my breast area muscles, as well as on my leg muscles, picking myself up and at the same time pushing hand into hand, palm into palm, to strengthen my breast area. I'm setting up for the next element, where I rotate my upper body, keeping my lower body relatively firm, working on the core and working also on my arm muscles. As you can see, I'm changing the movements of the arms, which will involve different groups of muscles. And now we rotate our hips clockwise and counterclockwise, just to loosen up all those back muscles and bones, and just stretch a little bit after our rotation exercise. This whole routine is under half an hour, but you can extend each element longer and therefore extend the whole routine. Now, next element is, I call it ballerina movement, which is just my silly name for it, where I do extension of a bent leg to the side from the center, and I do it on each leg, left and right, taking turns, and again I switch it from side towards the center, left and right. And again, you can do it as long as you want. If you feel like you could benefit from each element to be longer, do that. If you get tired, you can shorten it. Now I'm gonna do a different version of a side stretch. As you can see, I'm bending my body left and right, and each time I do that, I breathe out. That creates a deeper stretch. I'm preparing to go into the next move. I bend down with straight knees, help myself bend down as low as I can by pushing on my back, and I do what I call a mill with my arms out. I do the rotations, and sometimes I can self-adjust. I can do a crack between my shoulders. I find this exercise relieving the pain in that area. And gradually going into the stretch of the calves. I'm doing the straight forward foot, outward foot, inward foot position, which helps stretch out all those muscles of the back muscles of the leg, and it helps prevent plantar fasciitis. If you are suffering from it, you might find it relieving the pain. The next section of this routine is going to be on a mat, so use a yoga mat. And I start with the downward dog stretch, a yoga element which goes into another yoga element called pigeon, which is a stretch of the glutes. And I like to combine, as I mentioned earlier, combine different functions of an exercise. If I'm working one group of muscles, why not work another group? Or if I'm stretching one group of muscles, such as glute, why not do some rotations in the shoulder sockets? And then I switch the legs and do the same thing again. By the way, if you think you're hearing the same song over and over again, it's because you are. When I did this routine filming the movie, I listened to some proprietary tracks, which I can't use for the video, and instead I had to loop up my own song called Fragile, by the way, available on this channel, Olga Shop. Feel free to listen to it if you like it. Here I'm about to do another set of stretches. I'm sitting on my curled up toes, sitting deep into my heels, and bending my upper body to the left and to the right while breathing out. And the next element of this routine is regular push-ups. You can do as many as you can. I started in the beginning, I think, with about 8. Now I usually do the double of that, about 16 push-ups. But again, feel free to regulate your length of this routine by changing the length of each element. With time, you could increase it, or if you're just having an off day, you might cut it short. And here I'm going into the exercise from yoga called Cows and Cats, where, as you can see, you make your back go up and down, imitating those animals, I guess, with a little bit of flair that I added. I'm doing rotations in the shoulders, with the shoulders, just to work more parts of the body. And from the same position on your hands and knees, we're now starting the new exercise. As you can see, I'm keeping my foot square parallel to the ceiling, and I raise it towards the ceiling from my knee, with a bent knee, with one leg and with the other. And again, you can vary the number of those movements. I think for me, I do 22 on each leg. And then I switch from this exercise into swings from the same on the hands and on the knees position. I have a full swing of the leg, backwards, left, and then right. And I do about 11 on each of the legs. While I'm doing this exercise, I try to keep my back straight, so that puts a little bit of tension on it. So now it's a good time to stretch the back. It's also one of those yoga positions, child pose, but with my little bit of elaboration on it. I swing from side to side, again, making it all fluid and flexible. And now I'm setting up for my next exercise, push-ups, but I call them inward push-ups. It's just like regular push-ups, only I keep my hands inward, just to work out slightly different muscle groups. During these previous exercises, I had to keep my back sort of flexed and straight. So now it's time to stretch the lower part of the back by bending down to my knees, keeping your legs straight on the floor. I just breathe out and gradually try to lower myself as much as I can. You might not be able to double over, but see how far you can go, and try to keep breathing out and getting a little lower, and as long as you can do it. You can do a count, whatever helps you. And we continue with the lower back and stretching exercises now by going side to side in a split leg position. And I do a little change ups. I do bending to the side, but then forward over the leg, stretched out leg. And one more variation of the same idea of stretching the lower back, stretching the legs, is by going all the way forward with your legs spread apart as far as you can get them apart. And again, I'm doing a count here by turning my head left and right. That kind of constitutes the count. You get the idea. And the next section is concentrating on our abs predominantly. So I'm lowering myself here gradually, slowly, as slow as I can hold this position without collapsing on the floor. And it actually helps me adjust my sort of upper mid section of the spine, as well as I'm lowering myself gradually on the floor. And you do the breathing out when you're doing this lowering of the body. And I do about 3 times this set. Now I'm gonna stretch my glutes again, and also getting my knees flexible and switching to ab workout all in one exercise. I start doing the sit-ups towards my bent right knee. I do about 10-11 sit-ups that way, and then I do a little bit of rotation of the foot, a little jiggle, and switch the legs. Now I'm stretching the left glute, and I switch, and I keep it that way, doing the sit-ups towards the left leg. I call the next exercise a bridge, because I create a bridge with my body by raising pelvis upwards, and this works our glutes and our upper legs as well as the back muscles too. And I do about a set of 20. This exercise I call a bicycle, maybe just because it reminds you of a bicycle. All I'm doing is rotating left knee to right elbow, right knee to left elbow, which works our abs mostly, but also leg muscles as well. Now I'm gonna slow my heartbeat down, and I do it by breathing in to the count of 2, holding breath to the count of 2, breathing out to the count of 4, holding breath to the count of 2, and repeating this breathing exercise. And I do it just to slow my heart, to relax my body, all in preparation for the next exercise, which I call a cross. And what we do is we spread our arms out to the sides, we move our pelvis to the right a little bit, stretch our left leg straight, bend our right leg at the knee, and with the help of the left hand we push it towards the floor while keeping the right arm stretched out to the right. And we do it a few times. I usually adjust my lower back with this exercise. You always want to breathe out when doing it, or after you've exhaled the air completely and just holding your breath. That will help you go even deeper. And you repeat the same thing in the opposite direction. Doing pre-breathing exercises as well as this particular stretch somehow causes me eructation or burping, so I'm going to take a quick break. This element I took from gymnastics, I guess, and I try to keep my legs straight up, but as you can see, it stays a little bent, so I'm not a gymnast. This is just one of those exercises I took out of their, out of their routine. And then I do it the same thing with the other leg. Bent knee, straight leg, bent knee, straight leg. About 10 of them. Next exercise is what I call a double sit-up. That's where both my upper body and goes up, as well as my knees are coming up to my upper body. And I do about 22 of these sets as well. As you probably know what sit-ups do, this works out your core, your abs. But, you're also moving your legs, you're also moving your arms, so it's an overall complex exercise. And I end in a sitting position where it's good to transition into a lotus pose, which I can't do. Never been able to fold my legs like a yogi, but this is the best I can do, stretching my knees. See how far you can take it. And from the sitting position, we go into rolls and getting up, rolling on the back and getting up straight. I do it a few times. It's just another way to make sure you adjust your back while you're rolling on your back on something soft. Like I said before, we're using a yoga mat. You don't want to hurt yourself on a tile floor, anything like that. And at the end of this exercise, when we land on our back, without getting up, it will be easy to transition into the following set where we work on our legs. And what I do is I do a stand and then I do some splits. Forward with one foot, forward the other one straight up, and changing them. And after this set, I try to do a split horizontally. As you can see, my hind leg tends to bend at the knee. Not quite horizontal split, but that's the best I can do. And this transition into lowering our both legs behind our head actually helps with the internal, it works the core, it works the abs, but it also helps with the internal organs. And if you can see here, I'm rotating my stomach muscles, and I do it first I do it from top to bottom rotation, and then I'll go back to it and I'll do bottom to top rotations. Not everybody can do it. You know, you might not succeed at first. You might have to try several times before you even succeed at all. But just keep trying. It's just good for your internal organs, a little massage. It also makes your neck more flexible. And at the end of that exercise, I usually do another rotation with the head just to loosen up the neck. Just a little flay at the end. And after this, we're going to stretch our legs again. I do forward semi-split, side semi-split, and on both sides, as you can see, I'll be rolling from one leg to the other one, and doing, you know, the same routine from one side to the other. That's about it. If you've enjoyed this movie, please feel free to comment. You know, if you have any questions. I'm sure I didn't cover all of the muscles that are being worked and being stretched. But if you have any, you know, any questions or anything at all you want to say, hopefully positively, at the end of this video, feel free to leave comments, and thank you for watching.